Watch Heroes and Icons on KOAM TV, channel 7.4.
KOAM Skyview, bringing you the big picture. KOAM News Now.
Right now at 5, students at PSU can expect to pay more for their education.
There's a couple of stray showers out there for some of us this morning. Otherwise, it's going to be even hotter today. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the Peoria tribe breaks ground on low-rent housing in Miami, Oklahoma.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is a finally Friday in the 4 states. We have made it to another end of the week.
Here we are. The first Friday of summer.
It is the first Friday, the first official Friday of official summer. Again, even though it's felt like summer long before the official start. Yeah, unfortunately, it is going to get much hotter.
Yeah, pretty toasty.
Yeah, we're talking the potential even for some dangerous heat next week as well. But let's get started with what you need to know to head out the door this morning. This is a live look from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. The skies are mostly cloudy in Joplin. Another view from and this is not our camera, I apologize. This is the MoDOT camera. Down there at 32nd and Range Line, looking good as well. I want to show you the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Just take a look. There are a few stray rain showers out there. We've got some back into northeastern Oklahoma. We've got a couple of sprinkles near Neosho, just paralleling I-49 to the east. And then here just recently, west of Girard, we've got this little guy that flared up. Nothing severe. There's not even lightning with this activity at this point. And a couple of decent little showers near Osceola out there as well. So again, not much, but at least it's something. And with our pop-up shower and storm chances the last few days, this is the first time we're actually seeing something on the radar. Won't add up to much, won't last very long, and shouldn't last very long, but it will continue to be an opportunity for pop-up showers and maybe a thunderstorm, as you can see on the future track as we head into the afternoon out there. Otherwise, variable clouds again, partly cloudy skies though for most of us, and we'll start to clear out in the evening, cloud up overnight, and clear out by tomorrow morning. Temperatures right now, told you the manageable weather we had yesterday morning was not going to last long. Look at these temperatures. It is 5 o'clock in the morning, and we are pushing close to 80 degrees for some of us out there. And again, it's going to be even hotter today, and temperatures continue to steadily increase as we head into the weekend and next week. Talking highs, a lot more low 90s out there for us today. We'll have partly cloudy skies again otherwise, and then again, maybe a stray shower or two, but nothing too significant. At dangerous heat though, we're not kidding around with it. We're talking heat index values exceeding 100 degrees by next week. We'll break down the details on that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, Jasper County authorities are investigating a shooting that sent one man to the hospital. It happened Wednesday in the area of Sunrise Lane near Webb City. Police say 33-year-old Dennis Sanchez Cortez has a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. Investigators say they've identified the shooter, who was cooperating with law enforcement. They say their preliminary investigation indicates the shot was fired in self-defense. If you're ever on the go and want to still be able to watch our newscast live, just download the KOAM Plus app. It's available free of charge on the App Store of your choice. Just search for KOAM Plus. Well, attending Pitt State is getting more expensive. The Kansas Board of Regents approved a tuition and fee increase of 3.5% for undergraduates. That comes out to an additional $107 per semester. Earlier this year, the school announced the Great Gorilla Scholarship Program, which awards up to $4,000 per student for up to 4 years. The Peoria Housing Authority breaks ground on 15 new homes for low-income families. The groundbreaking comes after the Housing Authority received a $3 million federal grant. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more.
The Peoria Tribe Housing Authority is set to undergo its biggest project in over 15 years.
Well, we've known it's been a need for several years. That's not anything new. You know, these 15 homes here that we have will just put a small dent in the need that we have in our native community.
For Peoria Tribe Chief Craig Harper, This is an opportunity to not just house families, but to improve their lives.
We know that when our families are housed in a safe community, all of their portions of their lives improve. We see their financial life improve. We see their family life improve. We see the opportunity for them when they don't have to have those worries, those constant housing worries every day, then they can pour back into their families and their communities as a whole.
For those who attended, this is a positive step in addressing the housing shortage in their community.
We know we have a housing shortage, but we have a housing shortage at every economic level. And so anything we can do to ease the burden on housing in Miami is going to pay dividends long term.
And now that the dirt has been turned, it's only a matter of time before 15 families will soon have a place to call home.
We hope our construction will begin within 2 months. That's what we're shooting for. We're shooting for the end of August, and we're hoping 6 months after that from start to finish. That's our goal.
Reporting in Miami, Oklahoma, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
The Housing Authority will accept bids for construction over the coming months. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, we'll see an inside look at the Mossberg Boxing Academy on Main Street in Joplin. Plus, a head-on collision involving a freight train and a locomotive left at least 2 rail workers dead. And we have a hot and cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Well, Ryan Mossberg began his combat sports coaching career in his basement. From there, he moved to his garage and then a couple of months ago to Main Street in Joplin. The Mossberg Boxing Academy has classes 6 days a week for all age and skill levels. Athletes there train in several different combat sports with classes in the morning and in the evening. Mossberg says he's glad to have a growing community of those coming to the gym, which has come a long way from its humble beginnings in his basement.
I started the gym about 4 months ago, and we do competition boxing, competition kickboxing, competition MMA, but I also have a lot of amateurs, and it's all walks of life here actually. So I teach, I think the youngest kid I have here now is 6 years old, all the way up to 61. And so I'll teach, anybody that wants to learn, I'll teach. So I don't even care if they're younger than 6, I'll teach them if they'll listen.
Sports in Kansas releases its 2024 high school baseball all-state teams yesterday. Dozens of our local schools and athletes are featured, including one standout being named Player of the Year in their class. We're going to start with Class 2-1A. First and second teams are on your screen. No surprise to see a lot of Colgan Panthers on the list. Kyson Bennett on the first team All-State along with Gus Keller and Cooper Simmons, who Sports in Kansas names the 2-1A Player of the Year. Their teammates Carson Simmons and Tristan Voss are on the second team along with Spencer Wade from Northeast Arma. Over to Class 3A, this is just the first team, which features 9 local players from 6 different schools. 4 Frontenac Raiders are featured after their third place finish at state. Bryant Kitchen, Cal Turlip, Brock Weimers, and Corbin Nix. Cam Smith from Girard, Noah Harper from Riverton, Peyton Gaines from Baxter Springs, Humboldt's Sam Hull, and Columbus's Jack Villela are on the other first team honorees. In Class 4A, Dub Chipman and Rocco Lafredo from Fort Scott are, along with Lars Kester and Rhett Smith from Chanute, make the first team. Second team features Landon Rowland from Parsons, Hudson Baker from Labette County, and another Fort Scott Tiger, Spencer Goldston. Then we go to Class 5A. 3 Pittsburgh Purple Dragons, Bo Pasteur and Webb Fern make the first team, and Tucker Akins is on the second team. See all the players receive all-state honors, including honorable mentions from every class. You can head over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com/sports. Over to summer collegiate baseball, the Nevada Griffins snap a 3-game losing skid in style. They dominate the Chillicothe Mudcats 11-3 on the road last night. Nevada is back on the road today as they face the Clarinda A's. Over in the Mid-America League, the Outlaws were scheduled to play the Texarkana Rhinos last night, but that game gets canceled because of mechanical issues with the Joplin team bus. These two are now scheduled to play each other tonight. So to come, we're going to see why researchers say there are actually 6 different types of depression. Plus, another look at that very hot forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:15, coming up on 5:16 on this Friday morning. And we're starting with something we haven't started with in a long time, the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Now, there's not a lot to crow about out there, but we do have a nice little shower, southwestern Ottawa County, a couple of showers rolling into southern Craig County. Got this little guy northwest of Columbus. This one's picked up a bit. Again, nothing strong, nothing severe, not even lightning with this, but some more moderate rainfall and a little patch just to the northwest of Girard. And as we zoom out, we've had a couple little showers up here near Osceola, a couple down here south of Monette. Not a lot, as you can see, but nonetheless, this is the most we've seen in quite some time on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. That is the 3rd time in the last 2 weeks that has done that. We still have the possibility of some pop-up showers, maybe a rumble of thunder as we head through the afternoon. Those chances, again, relatively low, but nonetheless, they're not zero. Otherwise, the chance that's at 100% is the dangerous heat. We head into tomorrow. Again, overnight clouds increase. We go into the evening, clouds decrease. We go into the overnight, they increase. We go towards sunrise, they decrease again. And then we'll go partly cloudy through the day on Saturday, and it's going to really start to heat up. As you can see, these temperatures continuing to climb out there. Then as we go into Sunday morning, a stray shower or thunderstorm possible for a few of us out there. Won't last very long. Maybe a couple of flare-up showers east of I-49 as well by mid-morning. But outside of that, it's going to be another very hot day. Our UV index today is at an 11. That's back to the extreme level. So burn time for skin is less than 10 minutes. So make sure you are taking precautions. Our heat risk today, got more moderate building in. And remember, the moderate is about 95 to 100 degree heat index values. And you can see splotches of major in parts of southeast Kansas. That is heat index values of 100 to 105. As we go into our Saturday, moderate across the entire area now. A lot more major out there. Major overspreading the area by Sunday. And this is the part I don't like. We go into Monday and Tuesday next week, and we see extreme. That's the highest level this thing goes. So we're talking heat index values by Tuesday of next week could exceed 105 degrees out there. So, as we've been doing, we will continue to do, remind you of some heat safety tips. First, your pets, make sure you're taking them on early morning walks, keeping them inside, especially heading into next week. Keep the kids inside too. This heat's too dangerous for them, whether they're hydrated or not, but you still need to keep them hydrated as well. For those who work outside, please find shade, take frequent breaks, stay hydrated, and make sure you're checking up on the elderly as well. Of course, they're very susceptible to this kind of heat. All right, we got those mostly cloudy skies in Joplin, 77. We do have a heat index of 79. Temperatures across the area, again, very warm. We had our nice day the yesterday morning and the morning before. We're back to the unpleasant levels, mid-upper 70s for most of us. As we go through today, or through the morning rather, partly cloudy skies, heating up mid-80s by 11 o'clock this morning, ahead of highs into the low 90s across the area. Temperatures still expected to climb into the upper 90s by next week. However, some thunderstorms and a little system Tuesday night will knock our temperatures down a bit, which will be nice, but they don't stay down long. They'll heat back up heading into next weekend with some other thunderstorm chances out there as well. Let's check your forecast. We're back with Health Watch right after this.
Well, topping Health Watch this morning. This time of year, heat and humidity can wreak havoc on your skin, leading to rashes, acne, and more. But there are ways to protect your body's largest organ. Mandy Gaither has 5 common summer skin problems that you can prevent.
This time of year can make skin itchy, sensitive, even painful.
The weather tends to be warm with more chance for people being outdoors and more active with more sun exposure, as well as heat, perspiration, and humidity.
Dermatologist Dr. Susan Masick with Ohio State University's Wexner Medical Center says sweating can cause two of the most common summer skin problems, folliculitis, which is an inflammation of hair follicles, and acne. Help prevent both by keeping skin clean, especially after a workout or being outdoors in heat.
So the most important thing that you can help out with yourself is to decrease the oil production.
This time of year can mean visits to the pool or the beach, which can also affect skin, putting it at risk of becoming dry and irritated. Masick says moisturizer can help with rehydration. And if you're heading out to the woods, watch for poisonous plants.
The best rule of thumb when it comes to poison ivy is try to avoid it as much as possible. Wearing long sleeves, especially if you're hiking or if you're working outdoors. And as soon as you come in, to go ahead and shower up, because it's the oil on the skin that causes the rash.
Finally, protect against a skin discoloration on the face known as melasma by reducing sun exposure.
Using things like sunscreen, sun protection, hats, scarves, anything that will cover sun exposed areas will help prevent some of this melasma from occurring.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Protecting skin from the sun will also reduce the risk of another major summer skin problem, which is sunburn. Dr. Masick says to remember there's no such thing as a safe tan, and sun exposure raises the risk of skin damage and skin cancer. The FDA approved the first gene therapy for patients with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's a drug called Elevidys. Last year, Elevidys was approved for 4- and 5-year-old children with the muscle weakening disease. Yesterday, the FDA said any patient over the age of 4 with the disease and a specific gene mutation could take the drug. The FDA says it's too soon to determine if it's safe for children under 4 years old. The one-time intravenous infusion from Septra Therapeutics cost roughly $3.2 million. Duchenne muscular dystrophy progressively makes muscles weak and can prevent a child from being able to walk. Well, scientists may be one step closer to treating depression better. Researchers used MRI scans to look at the brain of about 800 people suffering from depression. They were scanned both while at rest and while engaging in tests for cognitive and emotional functioning. Those tests showed there were actually 6 different types of depression. Each one responded differently to medications and therapy. Right now, treating depression involves trial and error, and it can take months or years to find treatments that work best. The new research shows doctors may become more able to prescribe effective treatments for each type of depression much sooner. Well, a life-changing moment for a fire battalion chief in California. Chief Brandon Wilson had his final chemotherapy session in his battle against non-Hodgkin's lymphoma Thursday morning. He didn't do it alone. Kara Finstrom reports.
Applause and lots of tears as this crowd surprised Corona Fire Battalion Chief Brandon Wilson. He has been battling non-Hodgkin's lymphoma for 6 months and is getting his final round of chemotherapy today. His doctors here at the City of Hope tell us that cancer is in remission. And at his side today were his 2 young sons, Luke and Gavin, his wife Amber. The local hero has repeatedly risked his life for others. Today, this crowd wanted to be there for him.
Being in the fire service, it's just like everybody else. You never think it's going to happen to you, you know, and my number was picked. July 3rd is when they told me, and it just reminded me that although the fire service is a very special thing, in that moment of learning my diagnosis, it didn't really mean anything to me anymore. It was just my family.
In an Instagram post earlier this year, the Huntington Beach firefighters expressed support for Wilson. His career in fire service started as an ambulance driver for that department. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Yeah, and taking a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, we got a couple of areas of some showers down in northeastern Oklahoma and up into southeastern Kansas. We'll have another look at your forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, we'll learn tips from the Better Business Bureau on how to protect older adults from scams.
And we've got mostly cloudy skies out there. Some of us actually getting some rain. We'll take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker and the forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, folks flock to downtown Joplin again for another Third Thursday.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:29. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Friday. It is July the 21st.
Yes.
It is.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
And
Happy
that's
to be
it.
here. There we go.
We made it. It's going to get hot, though. I mean, the official first day of summer the other day, and it's really going to start to heat up. We're talking dangerous heat as we go into the weekend start of next week. But we are actually getting some rain out there this morning.
Which is really nice.
It is.
We really need it. It's getting unbearably hot out there already, and I know it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, it's unfortunately going to get worse before it gets better. Let's start first with that look outside from our, the MoDOT camera rather, 32nd and Rangeline. This is the second time I thought that was ours, and I don't know why. I know who it belongs to, and you do too. Mostly cloudy skies out there as we're taking that look outside. Here's the Skywatch Storm Tracker, and here's some actual showers. Now, they're small. As you can see, not many people getting anything out there, but just south of Miami to Ottawa County, we've got a little rain shower, a couple more back into Craig County and off to the south and west. And we go into Kansas. We've got this guy north of Girard into Crawford County, and this little shower just to the west of Weir down in Cherokee County. So again, a couple of spotty showers out there, and we could see a couple more. We mentioned this as a possibility of a few showers this morning, and thankfully that's what we're seeing, and we need some rain out there because unfortunately, we're going to run that risk of going back into drought status if we don't start getting some kind of rain. For the rest of today, though, will be partly cloudy for the majority of us. As you can see, the future track once again painting the possibility of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. But again, I think most of us will remain dry out there. And then it's interesting, the skies will clear late this evening. Then we'll go mostly cloudy overnight. Then they'll start to clear again towards sunrise. And then we'll go partly cloudy for our Saturday. Temperatures this morning, it is toasty. It's another one of those mornings walking out the door and you're just already, it's hot. And you can't think it's going to get any hotter, but it will. We've got upper 70s, some of us pushing close to 80 degrees this morning. Well, again, partly cloudy skies through the day. We'll have that opportunity for a stray pop-up shower or storm. Most of us dry, highs low 90s. And of course, with the high temperatures increasing, so do our heat index values. We're looking at those approaching 100 degrees easily for some of us today. It is going to get dangerously hot as we head into the weekend. Details on that in the full forecast in a few more minutes. Lise?
All right, thanks, Chris. We'll see you soon. Well, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly announced yesterday that $57 million will head to Dodge City to invest in an upgrade to its existing water treatment process and infrastructure. The plan is to strengthen the process of discharging treated wastewater into the Arkansas River stream bed. From there, it will head into the Ogallala Aquifer and provide additional groundwater at the city's existing well sites. Once complete, 1.3 billion gallons of recycled water is expected to be available annually. Well, good news for area travelers. The new US 166-400 expressway is now open to traffic from Baxter Springs east of South to the Kansas-Missouri border. It's 4 lanes, but eastbound traffic is restricted to 1 lane until the placement of pavement markings is complete. The Better Business Bureau is recognizing Alzheimer's Awareness Month with tips to prevent scams against older adults with Alzheimer's and dementia. We spoke with the Bureau's regional director who says those diseases can impact a person's ability to recognize the signs of a scam, making them more susceptible.
Scam awareness is a complex function, so if someone has memory or cognition impairment, it can really be challenging to identify scams. And there's a growing body of research that says difficulty making financial decisions and not being able to identify scams could be a very early warning sign of Alzheimer's disease.
A study in 2022 found there may be a link between early stage Alzheimer's and a person's willingness to give money to a stranger. Well, folks flocked to downtown Joplin again yesterday for Third Thursday. This month's theme is You Belong celebration. As always, the event featured local artists, vendors, live music, and plenty of food.
Yes, and we want people to know that even the people who are moving here and people who have been here, we want you to know that we will celebrate you and not tolerate you.
There's a difference.
There's a difference, and yes, and it takes all of us to make it work, and we just want people to know that we do see you, we appreciate you for who you are, and we just want to celebrate you for being you and all your uniqueness.
Next month's Third Thursday lands on July 18th. The theme for that one is Downtown Waterfest. Well, it was a big day for some students in McDonald County yesterday. The construction class unveiled the completion of its first ever tiny home. The tiny house, measuring 12 feet by 24 feet, features a cozy living area, fully equipped kitchen, custom cabinetry, and a modern bathroom, washer and dryer hookups, and 2 loft areas. The class plans to auction off the tiny house, with all proceeds set to support the continuation of this educational program. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. There are new questions about a computer program Iran may be using to advance its nuclear weapons. Plus, there's now a bipartisan push to designate Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch. There are new questions about a computer modeling program Iran may be using to advance its nuclear weapons program. The State Department says it has grave concerns. Jillian Turner takes a look.
The UN's top nuclear watchdog has confirmed one of Iran's most secretive nuclear sites is undergoing a dramatic expansion, alarming top U.S. officials.
Iran continues to expand its nuclear program in ways that have no credible, peaceful purpose. We remain deeply concerned with Iran's nuclear activities and will continue to vigilantly monitor them. Iran must cooperate with the IAEA without further delay.
A leaked draft document first obtained by Reuters reveals Iran's plan to triple the site's production of enriched uranium with brand new centrifuges. Secretary Blinken met with senior Israeli officials today, just days after Prime Minister Netanyahu accused the U.S. of slow-walking arms to Israel, a claim the U.S. denies. Meanwhile, U.S. and Israeli intelligence agencies have new alarming information about a computer modeling program Iran has reportedly acquired. U.S. officials say it could be used to help the regime build a nuclear weapons arsenal and build it faster.
We do not see indications that Iran is currently undertaking the key activities that would be necessary to produce a testable nuclear device.
Florida Republican Congressman Mike Waltz says this new computer program could be the key that unlocks Iran's speed.
When people talk about a breakout and weeks or months for them to be able to break out, that's basically having enough fully enriched uranium to have a bomb. This other element, this computer simulation, is how do you get the actual bomb formed and build the warhead that it fits on top of a missile?
Once Iran has enough enriched uranium to build a bomb, the Biden administration estimates the breakout time to be about 18 months, while Israel assesses it's as little as 1 year.
A head-on collision involving a freight train and a locomotive left at least 2 rail workers dead and 9 others injured in Chile. 2 large cranes were brought to the area in San Bernardo yesterday to remove the twisted wreckage. Local officials say the freight train's engineer and his assistant were killed. They say the locomotive had been on a test run when the crash occurred just south of the country's capital, Santiago. There were no immediate word on what caused the collision, which left the locomotive on top of the freight train. Authorities said they detained the engineer of the locomotive and a railway operator for questioning. The 8-car freight train was carrying more than 1,300 tons of copper, Chile's main export. Well, there's now a bipartisan push to designate Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism. Some in the Senate are even comparing Russian President Vladimir Putin to Hitler. Connor Hansen has the story.
This photograph is not just outrageous, it is deeply scary.
A bipartisan push on Capitol Hill to designate Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism. It comes just days after Russian President Vladimir Putin signed an agreement with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The pact means the two nations would come to each other's aid if one is attacked. Senator Lindsey Graham went as far as comparing Putin to Hitler in the 1930s, warning people not to underestimate the Russian president.
I'm telling you right now, if you let Putin get away with this latest misadventure, you will not age well in history.
If the bipartisan bill passes, Russia would join a list of other countries like North Korea, Iran, Syria, and Cuba. State sponsors of terror are designated for repeatedly providing support for acts of international terrorism. U.S. officials worry Russia will help bolster North Korea's nuclear capabilities.
If we made Russia state-sponsored terrorism, it would change the momentum in Ukraine overnight.
This comes at the same time lawmakers renew their concerns over Russia developing a nuclear anti-satellite weapon.
This weapon, if detonated in low Earth orbit, would decimate all satellites in low Earth orbit, and it would likely render the entire orbit unusable for up to a year.
Following the pact between Russia and North Korea, South Korea signaled it could start sending arms to Ukraine, a major shift in policy.
And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, coming up on 5:45 on this Friday morning, and the Skywatch Storm Tracker has something to show us for the first time in several days now. Going back into northeastern Oklahoma, we had a couple of showers in Ottawa County. Those have fizzled out, but we got a heavier shower now southwest of Miami into Craig County, another one southwest of Veneta. And then as we head into southeastern Kansas, we've got a couple of little showers. This one in northern Crawford County, getting ready to cross into southern Bourbon County, and this little guy here to the southwest of Pittsburgh, just west of Pleasant View. That's about it right now, but we could see a couple of additional showers, maybe a couple of little thunderstorms out there this morning. So again, nothing too crazy, but at least some of us are getting some kind of rainfall out there. And the future track suggesting, as it has the last few days, that we could see a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Those overall chances very low, but nonetheless they're there, and maybe we'll see a little more rain. I know a lot of folks would not complain about a little rain out there. We'll go partly cloudy through the day. We'll clear out in the evening, go mostly cloudy overnight, clear out again towards sunrise before we go partly cloudy on our Saturday. And again, Saturday, maybe a stray shower or two, really not much out there. It's Sunday, though. Sunday morning, some of us could see a couple of showers or thunderstorms. Right now, these look to mainly be along and east of I-49 by early Sunday morning. After that, though, it just gets straight up hot as we head into Sunday afternoon. Our UV index today is back to an 11. That's the extreme level, so burn time for unprotected skin less than 10 minutes, so make sure you are taking precautions while you're out there. Heat risk today, still some minor out there, but we're seeing a lot more moderate and even some patches of major. So remember, that moderate is the heat index values about 95 to 100, and major is heat index value potential 100 to 105. By Saturday, moderate over the entire area, and we're seeing a lot more major, especially in our western counties, and then that begins to shift as we go into Sunday. Major across the entire region almost. Only a few spots of moderate left. By Monday, major everywhere. Now we're seeing peaks of extreme. Extreme is those heat index values that could exceed 105 degrees. By Tuesday, extreme overspreading a good portion of the area. So we're talking dangerous, potentially deadly heat. However, I want to show you something because we'll show it on the extended forecast too. Watch what happens Wednesday. Start to see moderate, major. That clears out pretty quick. And even by Thursday, minor to moderate out there because we have a system that at least briefly is going to cool us down. So again, make sure you are taking precautions in this dangerous heat. Right now, 77 in Joplin. South breeze at 11 feels like 79. Mostly cloudy skies. Around the area, we're back to those warm starts again. Most of us in the mid to upper 70s. A couple of us, as you can see out there, close to 80 degrees this morning. As we go through the morning, eventually we'll reach our overnight lows in the next 20-30 minutes, and we'll start warming back up. Partly cloudy through the morning, temperatures to the mid 80s by late morning. Our highs today, again, low 90s. That continues into Saturday. Temperatures increase. Again, maybe those morning storms for some on Sunday. Then this is where we get concerned. near 100-degree high temperatures Monday and Tuesday, so those heat index values could easily reach 110. Then we've got a system Tuesday night that's going to bring us some thunderstorm chances, and that cools us down at least for a couple of days next week before we turn around and heat back up heading into the weekend. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, in Florida, dozens of active duty soldiers and veterans are coming together to compete in this year's Department of Defense Warrior Games. The annual sporting event is to celebrate wounded U.S. military service members. Sam Martello has a preview from Orlando.
More than 200 athletes representing the U.S. military and Australia will compete in this year's Department of Defense Warrior Games. The Warrior Games are meant to celebrate the resiliency of active duty and veteran U.S. military service members who are ill, injured, or wounded.
It's really about an opportunity for these athletes and injured service members to reconnect as part of a team and then ideally use adaptive sporting as part of their healing process.
Athlete Staff Sergeant Mario Webb serves in the United States Air Force and is participating in 3 events. He donated the left lobe of his liver to his son to save his son's life. He says while some wounds are visible, others are not.
It definitely gives you a new perspective. Like some of the things that I used to complain about, some of the things that I used to take for granted, looking at some of these guys, I don't have that luxury anymore. And actually, I'm glad that I don't.
Athletes compete in adaptive sporting events such as wheelchair basketball, wheelchair rugby, and sitting volleyball. Athlete Lieutenant Colonel Mike Sergio has served in the United States Army for 24 years and is participating in 6 events. A diagnosis with a neurological condition called CMT landed him finding the Warrior Games. For that, he's thankful.
When you identify as a competitive person and you feel like part of that's going away, to have an avenue to get back out and compete is awesome.
The Warrior Games begin today and will run through June 30th in Orlando. Well, now moving a little bit north in North Carolina, a nonprofit organization teamed up with an assisted living community to take seniors to the beach. Nate Malden shows us how even those with limited mobility were able to enjoy the water.
No matter the age, for many, nothing beats a day on the beach. Ocean Cure partnering up with Liberty Senior Living of Wilmington on Tuesday to bring seniors to Carolina Beach. Ocean Cure uses large mats along with specialized wheelchairs and walkers to allow those with mobility issues to get around the beach and even get in the water. Ocean Cure president and founder Kevin Murphy says the joint partnership allows residents to return to the water.
We love this partnership to be able to get some of our most senior members of the community down onto the beach. Many grew up on the beach, and this is an opportunity they get to get back down here and see the ocean, tell some great stories, laugh a lot, and teach us a little bit about everything.
And as Liberty Senior Living Regional Wellness and Enrichment Coordinator Haley Kinney Norris adds, some residents even brought along their family.
Families love it because they can join in too and, come to the beach with mom, dad like they did when they were kids.
World War II veteran Bill Eggers was among the seniors attending. He describes himself as a, quote, beach guy, though he wasn't quite set on going into the water.
I used to be a lifeguard out at the Hamptons, but I'm not sure I want to go in today.
But it seems after some help, Eggers had made up his mind to head down. Another resident in the water says she almost didn't come out to the event.
This is wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. I almost didn't come. They said you love it, and I am so glad I did. I am having so much fun.
Great to see them enjoy a day at the beach. Stick around. We'll be right back. Well, the Las Vegas Sphere has quickly become an iconic part of the Vegas skyline, and it's about to get an update. It's adding sound to match the exterior display. Exosphere CEO Jim Dolan teased the new feature last month. The system Exo Audio will sync with content displayed on the exterior of the Exosphere. Exo Audio will make its debut on the Exosphere as part of their 4th of July celebration. The 4th also marks the 1-year anniversary of the Sphere. The show has been described as a tribute to art, science, wonder, and the history of Nevada. The show will be recorded and posted online after the event. Well, today will not be a rough day for pet owners and their furry friends. That's because June 21st celebrates National Take Your Dog to Work Day. The holiday has been celebrated in the U.S. every Friday after Father's Day since 1999. It seeks to encourage people to adopt animals from shelters. However, some companies celebrate Take Your Dog to Work Day every day. Petco and PetSmart both have animal-friendly policies for employees. Amazon has also jumped on the trend and started allowing workers to bring pets. Dogs can reduce stress, increase productivity, and help employees stay healthy with physical activity.
Certainly a lot of benefits to bringing your pet to work with you. And you're going to want to probably bring your pet to work with you over the next several days, especially if you're working through the weekend, beginning of next week, because it's going to be hot and you're not going to want them running around outside. Today, partly cloudy through the morning and about 85. And again, maybe a stray shower or thunderstorm out there. And that's going to be the case through today. Isolated pop-up shower storm is possible. Most of us, though, unfortunately, will remain dry. Got the low 90s today. Heat index values easily approaching 100 degrees. Heading into the evening, we'll have partly cloudy skies, mostly cloudy overnight, back into the low to mid 70s. Then we've got the possibility of a few morning thunderstorms for at least some of us, mainly along and east of I-49. And we look at these temperatures climbing mid upper 90s, getting close to 100 to start next week, which puts our heat index values possibly upwards of 110. So make sure you're taking care of yourself out there, staying hydrated, taking care of your kids, your pets, the elderly, just about anyone and everything. Then that system Tuesday night brings us some rain chances and at least a couple of days of cooler weather. That's checking your forecast. We're back with more right after this.